Okay, let's go and practice working with basic number operations. And the problem we're going to be doing in this video is right here. We have 3 divided by 6 plus 3/4. And we want to figure this out without the aid of a calculator. The only calculator you need is the one right between your ears, right up here, that supercomputer. That is not artificial intelligence. That is the real deal intelligence. So if you can figure this out, go ahead and put your answer into the comment section. I'll show you the correct answer here in just 1 second, and then I'll walk through the solution to this problem step by step. But before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is John. I have been teaching middle and high school mathematics for decades. Really is my true passion to try to make learning math as easy as possible. So if you need assistance in learning math, check out my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. You can find a link to that in the description below. And if this video helps you out, don't forget to like and subscribe, as that definitely helps me out. Okay, so pretty straightforward problem. 3 divided by 6 plus 3/4. What is the answer? Let's go and take a look at it right now. So there's basically two versions of this answer. They're both equivalent. So hopefully you have one answer or the other. So the correct answer would be 5/4, 5 over 4, or you can write this improper fraction as a mixed number fraction, 1 and 1/4. But either one of these answers would be correct. Okay, so how'd you do? Well, hopefully you got this right. If that's the case, let's celebrate by giving you a nice little happy face and A plus a 100% and multiple stars so you can brag to your friends and family that indeed you are a genius in basic math and number operations. They'll be very happy to hear that information for sure. Now, if you got this wrong, please don't panic. We're going to walk through the solution step by step, but let's go ahead and get started right now. Okay, so here we have some numbers. Okay, what are the numbers? We have 3, 6, and 3/4. Now, 3 and 6, these are nice, what we call whole numbers. There's different kind of classifications or descriptions of numbers, but you can think of these as whole numbers or integers. But 3 and 6, if you kind of look at these numbers, these numbers here are different than this number. This is a fraction. Okay, so these numbers are not a fraction. So what we have to consider is, what do we do first? Okay, do we do division first? Do we go 3 divided by 6? Or do we go 6 plus 3/4 first? We have to make a decision. Hey, what do I do first? Well, luckily we have this cool saying right here. It's PEMDAS. There's a little mnemonic, a little phrase that goes with this. It's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And this is a little saying that you can remember to help you remember the correct order of operations. Order of operations. This is a huge topic in mathematics. And let me just kind of quickly tell you what we're talking about here. So in math, we have various operators, things that we can do with numbers like add, subtract, multiply, divide, and powers, etc. These are what we call mathematical operators. Okay, so addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. But we need to understand, hey, what is the correct order to do math problems? Should we do addition first, and then division, and subtraction, multiplication? No, there is a specific order, and that order is described by this little saying right here. So let me quickly go through this and we'll continue this problem out just so you are very clear that we need to understand what is the correct order to start this problem. Okay, so the P stands for parentheses. You're going to do everything. If you see parentheses, you're going to do everything inside those parentheses. And clearly in our problem, there are no parentheses, so we'll move on. The E stands for exponents. Basically, you can think of this as power. So if you see anything like 2 squared, which is 2 times 2, you would do that next. Okay, of course, in our problem, there isn't any powers. Now, the next thing is multiplication and division. All right, so do we see any multiplication? Nope. Do we see division? Yes. Okay, so that's what's going to come next. So we're going to do any multiplication or division from left to right before we move on to addition and subtraction. So this is the correct order to this problem. Okay, we got to go 3 divided by 6, get that answer, and then we'll add 3/4. Okay, so again, before you start any problem that is dealing with multiple different operations, you have to stop and think, and say, okay, what is my first move? Always think of PEMDAS order of operations. So we're going to start off the problem right here, 3 divided by 6. Okay, so what is 3 divided by 6? Well, you want to write this or express this as a fraction. 3 divided by 6, this is not 6 divided by 3, this is 3. So this would be like our numerator, okay, and 6 would be our denominator. So if I said 3 over 6, this is the same thing as 3 divided by 6. So 3 divided by 6, you can write it this way or this way, 3 divided by 6. So that's the first thing we want to do is express this situation, 3 divided by 6, as a fraction, okay? So you're saying, okay, that's very good, 3 divided by 6. Now I'm going to continue on. I'm going to add 3/4 to that 3 over 6. Not so quick, okay? Anytime you are working with fractions, before you do anything, you always want to fully simplify, fully reduce those fractions, okay? So 3 divided by 6 is equivalent to the fraction 1/2, right? 3 goes into 3, 1, and 3 goes into 6, 2. Okay, so 3 divided by 6 really is 1/2. So this problem at this stage is 1/2 plus 3/4. So now let's go ahead and continue on. All right, so again, we decided that we needed to do division first using PEMDAS. We did 3 divided by 6, which of course reduces to the fraction 1/2. So now we have to figure out with 1/2 plus 3/4 is equal to. Now at this point in the problem, hopefully some of you are, asking, you're like, hey, this math teacher, he likes to write his fractions this way with a horizontal fraction bar and also with a diagonal fraction bar. It's either way is correct. Okay, so stylistically, if you like to write your fractions that way, that's okay. But I want to suggest that those of you that like to use this angled fraction bar, write your fractions this way. Okay, it's going to better serve you when you get into more advanced like algebra and the like. Okay, all right, so we have 1/2 plus 3/4. So let's go ahead and rewrite this problem. We need to figure out what 1/2 plus 3/4 is equal to. All right, so you can see I have some work down here, but let's just quickly review. Anytime you want to add or subtract fractions, okay, so here we're adding fractions, but this is the same thing with subtracting fractions. Anytime you want to add or subtract fractions, you need to have these bottom numbers the same. Okay, we need to have the same denominator. So for example, if I had 1/7 plus 2/7, I could add these fractions just like this because these bottom numbers, these denominators are the same. And all we do is simply add the numerator. 1 plus 2 is what? 3, the respective numerators, over 7. That's how we add fractions. It works the same with subtracting fractions. But in this problem right here, we do not have the same denominator. So it's no big deal. What we need to do is figure out the lowest common denominator or try to change the problem such that these bottom numbers are the same. So here I have 3/4 and then here I have 1/2. So I'm thinking, we could easily change this 2 into a 4. Okay, so we want a 4 down here, or we would like to have a 2 down here. Either way, we need the same denominator, and that is what we call the lowest common denominator. Now, if you are already kind of, at the point of in this problem, like, what, I'm really rusty on fractions. I need a lot of review. Let me give you a couple quick suggestions. One, I have a ton of videos on fractions on my YouTube channel, so check those out. But if you're looking for a great little basic math review course, check out my Math Foundations course. I'll leave a link to it in the description of this video. I go over everything, fractions, all decimals, percent, all this kind of good basic math that you absolutely need to have mastered before you move on to more exciting math like algebra. Okay, so the LCD here is 4. How we get that, that's a separate discussion. Hopefully you recognize that. But basically what we can do is fix up this problem. We have 1/2 plus 3/4. I want to change this 2 into a 4. So how can I change a 2 into a 4? Easy, I just multiply it by 2, right? So 2 times 2 gives me 4, but if I multiply the denominator by 2, I also have to multiply the numerator by 2. Okay, so now I'm going to have 2 over 4, which of course is the same thing as the fraction 1/2. Okay, so now what I'm doing is rewriting this fraction as 2/4. Okay, but the advantage of doing that now is I have 4 in my denominator. So we have 1/2 plus 3/4, but I changed this fraction to 2/4 plus 3/4. Now I have the same denominator, so this is going to be super easy. All I have to do is add the numerators, right? So 2/4 plus 3/4, same denominator. So just write that one denominator, 4. 2 plus 3 is, of course, going to be 5. So 2 plus 3 is 5/4. All right, so this is the correct answer as I showed you earlier. And quite frankly, this is a good place to stop the problem. Okay, in other words, don't feel compelled to write your improper fractions as mixed numbers. Okay, you don't have to do that. You need to know how to do that, but you don't do it unless you are, told by your teacher or by the directions on your exam or quizzes, etc. Okay, I have seen thousands and thousands of sad math students, and it's a very sad story. I'll tell you real quick, where students will have the right answer right here, then they go to change their correct answer into a mixed number and they make an error. So how do we go from 5/4 into 1 and 1/4? Well, what you're going to do is take 5 and divide it by 4. Right? So again, we're not using the calculator. So you do some basic arithmetic here. 4 goes into 5, 1. You just do all this stuff. That, of course, you know how to do. But you make an error right here, and then you end up with like 1 and 1/3 or 1 and 1/2. That can happen. Okay, so don't do that. You need to know how to do it, but don't do that unless you are told to do this. So 5/4 is the correct answer. Just make sure your answers are fully reduced, fully simplified. Okay, so hopefully this video helped you out. And if it did, do me excuse me. If you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. That really, really helps me on YouTube. I put a lot of effort into my videos. I really love to teach, but if just by a simple little act of subscribing and hitting that notification button really does go a long way for me. So please consider that. And I would, just love to continue to help you learn mathematics. If you like the way I teach, I've been doing this stuff for decades. And I can tell you right now, what I try to do is teach math in such a way where it doesn't sound like a textbook. Okay, I try to emphasize things that are not necessarily going to be in your textbook, and really try to help you avoid common errors. But for all of you out there listening, irrespective of how you think you are in math. A lot of people are like, I'm terrible at math. I'll never learn this. You can learn math. Okay, you're just going to have to take it one skill at a time. Okay, but I believe in you, and I want you to believe in yourself. And if you need assistance in math, again, check out all my content on my YouTube channel or my math help program. All right, so with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.